All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining in. It's been a few days or so since I made a video. I've been kind of busy doing some shit. So finally got a few minutes here. I want to make a video. As everybody knows, the Jets have finally moved on, decided to move on from Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I think that's a good idea. And the quarterbacks I hear rumored and talked about and mentioned who may come to the team and, whatnot. So, first of all, let's tackle the Aaron Rodgers thing. As any of you know, if you watch my videos, I have never been a big fan of Rodgers when the Jets got him. I just thought he was kind of washed up. I know he still has talent and he still can play at a high level. I just didn't think at that point it was a good idea to bring him on. There was other quarterbacks out there I kind of liked more than Rodgers, but either way, they got Rodgers, and of course, we all know what happened Monday Night Football. He hurt his Achilles, out for the season, so we don't know what that could have been. I thought, considering all what happened and what the team had done with Zach Wilson, throwing him out to the Wolves in his first season, just basically ruining the guy. I don't think we're ever going to really know what kind of talent he could have had they had sat him. I didn't even agree with bringing him in when Rodgers was down. They needed him for a game or two, but they should have been right on the phone, getting somebody else in there, another veteran backup. Starter. Put him in and let Zach sit back for at least a couple of years. That was what I was hoping to do. Once again, they just threw him to the Wolves, and I think it kind of ruined him. It ruined his confidence, and he just was too young and not ready for it. So. But anyway, season 2 just passed us. Rodgers was, quite frankly, he was terrible. I mean, he played better during the season, and he did have decent numbers, 20-something touchdowns, 11 or 12 picks. I can't remember what it was. 3,000 something or so yards. I can't remember what it was either exactly. But on paper, he was about a mid-level quarterback, 15, 16, 14, somewhere in that area. But at the end of the day, it produced 5 wins. And some terrible play, and the whole team just kind of fell apart around him, and they were supposed to be built around him. We had guys talking about leaving the team, not wanting to come back. They go get Devontae Adams, and it just doesn't get any better. They fire Robert Saleh. They only won a couple of games, 3 games maybe after that. It was just a disastrous, embarrassing season. When you have a guy like Rodgers on, the expectations were so high, and they just kind of fell on their faces. It was just embarrassing, embarrassing season again. So after all that, let me just say, let's go ahead and tackle the getting rid of Rodgers. Now, everything I just said with the season being like a wash and it was really just bad, that's the first big reason. I don't think running it back twice with a new Aaron Glenn seems to be this Mogi guy. They're saying all the right things, but as Jet fans, they've heard it all before. We've heard that all gas, no brakes, and all this other crap, and it ends up equaling nothing. So this is, to me, just more talk, just more new coach, big talk. Let's see what happens. So I was glad to see that Glenn stood up and how they decided this, we don't really know. Aaron Rodgers flew into Jersey. They told him they don't want to move on. Maybe he did. Maybe they both kind of agreed to it. Nobody's going to really know until he comes out and publicly tells you his side of the story anyway. But either way, I'd like to see Glenn make a stand here for whatever the reason was that pushed him to it, to make that decision to move on. The money with Rodgers was just going to be too much at a player his age. I was saying all along, just take the cap hit, whether you want to take the 23 mil and then next year it's a little bit more, a little bit less than that to equal, I think, 49 million at what it was. I would have just assumed they take the whole cap hit this year and be done with it. But I think they look like they're going to spread it out. But I just think that because of the money, because of the play, because of the everything that Rodgers brings with him, he's not just a player who sits in the background. He's a very public guy. He goes on Pat McAfee every week, which is one thing we heard that they say, oh, you can't go on McAfee. They really can't tell him what he can do on his own time. I don't agree with that if that was the thing. But it could be a turning point to the team. Like, we want you all in, man. We want you in on OTAs. We want you in on voluntary shit, even though it is voluntary. Maybe they just wanted to see if he was all in, and he just wants to go putz around and with his friends or whatever it is that he does. He doesn't want to be told what to do. So I think so. Who knows what happened? At the end of the day, it's a good move for the Jets. I know a lot of Jet fans don't agree with that, and I'll probably get some comments on it. But at the end of the day, think about it. The money was going to be too much to keep the guy, a lot of money to keep him. And for what? So we can maybe get 6, 7, 8 wins next year, maybe sniff a wild card berth, maybe not. What if he gets hurt? He's going to be 42 years old at some point, I think, next year. So this was a good move, everybody. Just bear with it, eat it, take it down, and just let's move on from the guy. It's just not a good fit here. I never thought it was in the first place. So I'm glad to see that they are moving on from him. So there's a lot of rumors, a lot of talk about quarterbacks out there. I've heard Justin Fields, Derek Carter, if they let go of him, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. I've even heard Kirk Cousins. All these guys. Like there's so much names out there. I'll just go over a couple of what I think could be realistic. Well, not even realistic ones, even ones that I mentioned. Let's take Sam Darnold first of all. Sam Darnold ain't coming here. The Vikings are going to keep him or whatever they're going to put him on their franchise tag or whatever they call it. I don't think that they'll let Darnold go. Maybe if somebody gives him a chunk of money, they'll trade him off. I don't know if a team's going to really do that. But as far as the Jets go, the kid would be a fool to come back here. It would be like, he's got PTSD already from the Jets. He don't want to come back to this shit show, and that's really what it is. Until they show us it's something different, this is what it is. Sam Darnold won't come here. Justin Fields. Now, a lot of people are excited about Fields. I got to be honest with you, I'm not. I never thought he was that big a deal coming out of college. It's just he hasn't really shown anything. He played a little bit pretty well with Pittsburgh, but Russell Wilson came right in and took the job from him, and I'm not even convinced of him anymore. He's kind of a has-been too. His better years are behind him, I should say. Did take Pittsburgh to the playoffs, but they're just I don't know how they even eked into that. But Justin Fields, I don't like him on this team. I don't think he has that deep ball threat. The accuracy is good, but to short passes. He can run, but you got to really design an offense around him. I don't think the Jets are a good fit for him. I hope they don't pursue that. Daniel Jones, let's just move on from that. Kirk Cousins, I don't know. I still got a little bad taste in my mouth about Cousins. I remember years back, I think it was 17 or 18 when he went to the Vikings. He kind of used the Jets as a leaping point, like he's going to come here, and the Vikings gave him more money and he went there. I think he kind of used the Jets to do that. So I still got a bad taste in my mouth about that guy. And also, he's just another Aaron Rodgers. Had an injury, had a terrible half season. He even got replaced by the rookie there, Pennick or whatever his name is in Atlanta. So you're just replacing Rodgers with another guy who's maybe 3-4 years younger than him. I don't know about him either. I don't like any of the prospects out there. Now, Derek Carr might be something to think about. He's a little bit younger. I know he's a spotty kind of QB. He has good days and bad days, but he does put up some numbers, and I think he does have some potential if he becomes free from the Saints. I don't even know if that's a thing yet. I would be okay with him, I guess, just to be a bridge quarterback. But the other guys, I just don't like. I don't think so. And we have Tyrod Taylor, who's already on the team. Now everybody knows Tyrod's he's a good backup quarterback, but he is a backup quarterback. Now you want this guy to be your bridge guy if you draft a new quarterback. Is this who you want, Tyrod Taylor? I don't know. The guys in the locker room supposedly like him. He's a good guy, I guess, but good guy or not, is he a good bridge quarterback, for the next new guy? And so I don't I don't know. All of them out there are just kind of like, yeah, you're just going to have to deal with whoever they decide to get. And in the draft, I'll be going to be quite honest with you. I like Jackson Dart. I've been saying it all along. I've been saying it for a long time on my videos. I like Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. I've been watching the kid play for a couple of years. He's got the arm talent. He's got a super strong arm, deep ball. He's got the good size. I think he's about 6'2.5" or so, about 220. Got good size. Got good legs under him, but he's a project. He's not a guy that Jets could bring in and throw him out to the wolves like they did Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold. You're just going to ruin him. He probably needs to sit behind somebody for a couple of years. But I just see some potential in Dart. I think he would be a real good addition. Let him sit behind somebody. So if you decide to get, let's say, Derek Carr, let's just say for argument's sake, Derek Carr, let Carr be the starter. Let Taylor be his backup, and let Dart be the third string quarterback. Come in with three quarterbacks, and don't even put any pads on the kid when the season starts. Have a clipboard, watch, learn the plays, learn how the NFL works. That's what I would suggest to the Jets for a couple of seasons. And then when he's ready, give him the reins and let him take over. Don't throw him into the fucking mix right on day one. Just don't do it. Hopefully, Aaron Glenn and this new regime we have has learned their lessons from watching it and previously be done that way. It can't work that way. It's only worked that way a few times. There's a few exceptions to the rule. Don't do that. But my opinion, just to conclude my video here real quickly, my opinion is this. If you're going to get a Cousins or a Carr or one of these guys, get them. That's your bridge quarterback. And let him play. Let him start for a couple seasons. Keep Taylor. He's a good backup quarterback, but he is a backup quarterback. And I want to see him draft Jackson Dart. I don't know if they will or not. Maybe in the second round, give up your 42nd pick or whatever the hell the Jets have to move up a little bit in the second round and take him. He's a project. I get it. But if you watch this kid play, he's got a strong arm. He's got deep ball, got good size, and he's a good player. I think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback, but you got to let him sit. So that would be my suggestion. Get yourself a guy like a Carr or something. Let Tyrod be the backup to him. Not Jackson Dart. If you draft him, let Tyrod stay on the team. Let him be the backup and put Dart as your third quarterback. Go into the season with three quarterbacks on the roster. It's not going to hurt you. Let him learn for a couple seasons and then get him out there. And I'll bet you won't be sorry if the Jets end up doing that. But that's my opinion. What I think the Jets should do. I'd like to see that. Will they do it? I don't know. But we'll see in the very near future because the draft is coming up in a couple of months. So. We'll see what happens. Anyway, if you enjoy my video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate all the comments I'm getting. I'll try to get back to everybody when I can. You guys have a great day and I'll be talking to you very soon. Bye now.